Right, morning fellas, welcome back to another Villa on Tour video today. We are back. It's been a while since my last upload. I think it was over a week ago where I talked about transfers, but today we are back again talking about transfers. Not a fat lot has happened since the last video. Players have been on holiday. Obviously the season finished, they get a couple of weeks off, but I think players are back in training, I think this week. I think the Championship and stuff, they've been back for a week already, but definitely Villa and the Premier League as a whole are back this week. So hopefully transfers will hot up. I don't think a fat lot has happened. I think Brighton have made a couple, Man City as well, but we're going to be focusing on obviously Aston Villa, players coming in, players going out. I will be discussing all of them in this video, so do stay tuned. But just before we continue with that, you may notice a change of setup. I've moved my bedroom around a little bit. There's a bit more going on in the background. Lovely shirt made by the boys, Luke. Max 20 still works on all of that stuff apart from the Smiley range. So Luke 1977 have teamed up with Smiley, and Max 20 doesn't work on that because 20% of the profits go to a charity which focuses on the prevention of young suicide. So definitely check out that range. I've got some stuff from there. It's so nice. So definitely check that out. Top link in the description. Luke 1977, top stuff. Also as well, on the theme of shout out, you know what's coming. Massive shout out to the boys at OneFootball. It's the best footballing app out there for all of your footballing needs, and obviously, like I said, transfers are definitely hotting up right now. It's looking like it's going to kick off this week or next week. A lot of things are going to start accelerating, so I get a lot of my news from OneFootball, and you should too, whether you're a Villa fan, whoever you support. If you just want Premier League news or whatever, OneFootball has got you covered. So download it. It's so good. Transfers, scores, tables, whatever. OneFootball's got you covered. Link in the description. Download it right now. Free on everything. But without further ado, enough of the shout outs. So in these sorts of videos, I'll normally start on the players that are coming into Villa, the biggest rumours, but I'm going to start with the players that look like they're going to be leaving Villa, maybe you already have. And the first one is a bit of a sad one. James Chester has gone to Stoke City on a permanent deal. I think he went there in January on loan for 6 months. And yeah, that's been made permanent. So it's a sad day for Villa. It's a sad day for all the fans because everybody loved him. He's one of the nicest guys in football. Never met him personally, obviously, but you could just tell by the way he was so just classy on the pitch and just seemed like a really nice guy. It's really sad, but let's be honest, Steve Bruce ruined him, I think it was a couple of years ago, because we were left so short of players at the back, and James Chester had an ongoing knee injury, I think it was, and he was forced to play, and he was just an absolute warrior, just a joy to watch on the pitch, and it is really sad to see him go, but I just don't think he can cut it at the Premier League for where we want to be, and that's probably down to his injuries that he had. So I wish him all the best. I still love the bloke. Hopefully he goes on to have a long and successful career, but James Chester, thank you very much, son. Now another weird one that seems to, never go away is Marvelous Nakamba being linked with a move away from the club. I think his most likely destination is somewhere in Turkey. I can't remember the name of the club, apologies. But he just seems to be always linked with a move away in the last couple of weeks, whether it's a loan deal or a permanent. I don't really see the point in that. I think, how old is he, like 26, 27? I don't really see the point in that. Obviously he's not getting a lot of first team football, but don't get me wrong, he's still getting, his fair crack at the whip. But obviously with Douglas Luiz looking really good in the last couple of weeks, I don't see it. I think he's a good squad player. I don't think he's at that level that he's going to be starting for Aston Villa, but no, I don't think a move away is right for the club or Aston Villa, because I think Nakamba can be a really good sort of squad player, and let's be honest, we need a squad because it is pretty bare thin at the moment, and the players we do have aren't the best. So I'd definitely look at keeping Nakamba. I think he's good to have around the place. Now another one that sort of came out of the blue in terms of players leaving the club is Douglas Luiz to Man City. Now yesterday there was a massive meltdown on Twitter, people thinking Luiz was going to leave to go to Manchester City, but yeah, John Percy came in at the backstick and confirmed that it was pretty much all rubbish. Man City have got a recall option in his contract. I think that goes on for 2 or 3 years, I'm not 100% sure. But then again, there's talk about Villa offering Luiz a new contract ahead of the new season. So, bit of a funny one. I think if you offer him a new contract, does that mean you can get rid of the recall clause? I'm not sure, but I think if Luiz was to go to Man City now at the age of 21, I think that would be a bit of a silly decision for his career. Look, he's playing in the Premier League week in, week out for Aston Villa. We're still in the Premier League, which is obviously the main thing. If he goes to Man City, he will not play games consistently, and yeah, he's still only 21, so even if he stays at Villa for like even 1 more season or 2, he'll become a much better player, and then they can look at getting him back maybe, but in the short term, it's looking like he's going to be a Villa player, thank God, because since the restart, he's been our best player hands down. So Luiz is staying, good lad. So enough of players leaving Aston Villa, on to players that I think are coming in, and the main one Ollie Watkins. Now this is the main one. I think last week people were saying they've seen him in the Belfry or they've seen him at Bodymore Heath or whatever, but let's be honest, that was rubbish because he was clearly on holiday in Greece. You could see that by social media. But it looks like it's going to get done. Now I don't know anything personally, I'm not in the know or anything like that, but I'd say, look, it's a sensible deal. It works for Brentford, it works for us, it works for the player. So it looks like it's going to get done. I'd probably give it 90-95% that this is going to go over the line, which is brilliant news in my opinion. Like I touched on in the previous video, Ollie Watkins can play on the left, on the right, up top, and he's got that versatility that we need, and he's a young player, scored 26 goals last season. Get him in the club, get the deal over the line. I think he's way too good for the Championship. Is he going to be our main number 9? I don't know. That's going to be a tough one. Obviously Wesley's still there, Samatta, Davis, so maybe one of them's going to leave on loan or sell. I'm not sure, but Watkins coming in, and because he can play on the wing as well, I think it's an absolute no-brainer. I don't think there's a massive risk attached to it, so get him in the club. As well, this has been reported by TalkSport. I don't know how true this is, like I said, from TalkSport, so not necessarily true. But apparently Brentford have had a fee of £6.5 million accepted for Ivan Toney. I think it's from Peterborough. Yeah, from Peterborough. So Brentford are looking to get a striker in, so does that leave space for Watkins to leave the club? Is looking like it. Now another player from Brentford, Saeed Benrahma. This has gone really quiet. I think there's no real rumours about this one. I don't really see it happening, unfortunately. I've talked a lot about Benrahma. I love him. I love the way he plays. He's a fantastic player and an absolute joy to watch. But I just think, let's be honest, Brentford are going to ask for 30 million, and I just don't think you can justify that. I think there's talk about Chelsea or bigger clubs being interested in him, and I can see him going to one of them maybe and being like a squad player there. I just don't see this one happening. I might be wrong, but I just think there's a bigger risk attached to Benrahma than there is to Watkins. So I'd much rather get Watkins in than Benrahma. Maybe that's a little bit controversial, but I don't see Benrahma happening, unfortunately. I might be wrong. I don't know. Now, as well as Ollie Watkins, I think the main name that is doing the rounds is Milo Rashica. I believe that's how you say it. I've done my research. From Werder Bremen. It seems a bit of a roller coaster, this one, because on his Instagram story, he was in an airport and then he was spotted at a training camp in Austria with Werder Bremen doing a bit of cycling. So he's still with them. But reports have come out today that he is set to miss their pre-season game against Lask tomorrow because of the ongoing transfer talks. And apparently Aston Villa are the front of that race, which is exciting. But then again, yesterday journalists came out and said that Milo Rashica wanted to play in the Champions League and he didn't want to be involved with another relegation battle like he was in Germany with Aston Villa. So it's a bit of a funny one. I don't know. But a lot of people were saying, look, if he doesn't want to be at the club because he doesn't want to be involved in a relegation battle, is that the sort of player that you want at Aston Villa? Probably not. You want players that, you know, are excited to be at the club, they've got something to prove. I don't know, something like that, but maybe that was rubbish. Look, let's be honest, like I said, I'm not in the know, I'm just reporting what I'm seeing. So, Milo Rashica, it may get over the line, £22 million is the rumoured fee, get him in my club. Now, a few strikers that have been linked, I think the main one is Odsonne Edouard from Celtic. That keeps on going on, but with Watkins coming in for £20-25 million-ish, are you going to get Edouard in for 40 million? Because that is what Celtic are asking. Yes, he scored tons and tons of goals up there, but like I said, it's in Scotland. Don't mean to offend anyone, but it's simply not the same level as the Premier League. So I don't see that one happening. Are you willing to spend 60 million on 2 strikers when we've still got both the wings to improve on, maybe a centre-half, another midfielder, left-back? I don't know, I probably wouldn't do that myself. Another striker that sort of came out of nowhere was Michael Obafemi from Southampton. I don't see this one as being fairly realistic. I think he still plays quite a few games for them, even though they've got Danny Ings, Che Adams potentially ahead of him. He still plays a lot of games there. I believe he scored a late equaliser at Old Trafford a few weeks ago, so I don't see this one happening. If you're getting Watkins in, do you really need Obafemi as well? Nah, not for me, not at all. Now this is a massively weird one in my opinion. It came out over a week ago. Callum Wilson coming in from Bournemouth and Scott Hogan. Yes, if you forgot the name, Scott Hogan, he still belongs to us. Going the other way. Obviously Bournemouth in the Championship. Scott Hogan, I think, is a Championship player. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Let's be honest, he'll never play for Villa again after playing for Blues last season. No chance. Would I take that deal? Yeah, probably. I don't think Callum Wilson is your main man who's going to start 38 games in the Premier League for Villa, but I think he's a great player to have in the squad, maybe as well as Watkins. They can rotate, I'm not sure, but get Scott Hogan out of my club. Callum Wilson coming in, I'd probably take that. That seems like a fair deal, but I don't really see that happening. I can see Callum Wilson having at least one more season in the Championship with Bournemouth, and then maybe if he does well, getting a bigger move after that. Now another striker name that I think's a bit of an odd one, Ryan Brewster from Liverpool. He was on loan at Swansea for I think 6 months or so in the Championship last season, scored tons and tons of goals. I think he scored 10-15 goals, which in 6 months is very impressive in the Championship. But I don't really want him. I think, you know, he's a young player, hasn't played a fat lot of football. And I think, yes, like Ollie Watkins, he's done relatively well in the Championship, but I don't see this one happening. I don't really want it to come in. Maybe as well as Watkins and another striker, you could get him in as a third choice, but when you've got Wesley, Keenan Davis and Samatta at the club already, no thanks. Now, enough of the striker talk. A bit of a funny one, Gulam from Napoli. I think I'm saying that right, the left back. Apparently Villa are looking at him for a rumoured fee of £10 million, but I don't think that's very sensible. I don't think he played a lot of football last season. I think he had a few injury problems. I think he's a decent left back. I think, you know, he's got a lot of experience. He's not exactly the youngest. He's a decent full-back, but for me, I think you've got Matt Targett ahead of him. I don't think that's a priority area for Villa to strengthen, and if you are going to get in a left-back, I think we should be going for a younger one who can learn off Targett and potentially come in a few years, not someone who's going to maybe overtake Targett. So the final couple of players I'm going to talk about are a duo from Norwich, Emi Buendia and Todd Cantwell. I don't know, I think this massively depends on whether Jack Grealish is going to stay or leave. I think if Grealish goes, I think you get them both in. To maybe, you know, obviously you get two for the price of one with Grealish going and getting two players in. Maybe that could fill out the squad a little bit more. Are they on Jack Grealish's level? Absolutely not. Maybe that's our problem, I'm not sure. Who are you going to get in to replace Jack Grealish if he leaves? Because to Aston Villa, he's absolutely priceless. So that is why I think it's vitally important that we keep Jack Grealish. But even if he stays, do you get Emi Buendia in or do you get Todd Cantwell in? Maybe just one of them, I'm not sure. Look, I don't really like Todd Cantwell. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he does those stupid dances when he scores. So I'd prefer it if he didn't come into our club and start doing that in front of the whole end. But Emi Buendia, I think, like I said in the last video, his stats are ridiculous. I'd love him to come into the club. But do you get both of them in? I'd probably say no. I don't think that sort of creative midfielder is what you need, especially both of them if Jack Grealish stays. So I know I've thrown a lot of names in your face there and you may be a bit blown away by it, but I've probably missed a couple as well. So if I have, let me know in the comments. Who do you want us to sign? What positions are you looking at strengthening? Who is that big name striker we should be going for? Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If we can hit 1,500 likes on this video, that'd be very, very much appreciated. Thank you very much for the support on the channel recently. It's been very, very good. I will leave you to it. Thank you very much for watching. Of the Villa.